Hey guys, my name is Sophie the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm doing my book review on The Survivors Club by Michael Bornstein. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I really enjoyed this. If you guys have read this book or listened to the audiobook, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I really enjoyed this. It was a really interesting, touching story of survival. You don't see a lot of stories of children survivors out there. I've read a couple of them. However, as you guys know, most children who were sent to concentration camps were killed upon arrival, so they did not survive the war. However, through his family members and through chance, he was able to survive during the war. He was born at the beginning of the war, and he was very young, and his father was part of the Judenrat when they were in the ghetto, and because he was part of the Judenrat, he was able to keep them safe and help keep them there in the ghetto longer, and later they're transported to Auschwitz close to the end of the war, I believe in 1944, so the war is almost over, and that also helped save his life, because if they would have been sent earlier in the war, he probably would have not survived. And he was one of the few children who survived Auschwitz, because most of the children who were sent there were killed upon arrival, and his father's being part of Judenrat helped protect their family and keep them alive longer and keep them together. Later on, you find out about how his family members helped keep him safe and alive in a horrible place like Auschwitz, and they were able to make it through the war. And you see him growing up, getting older, and dealing with what he went through as he grew up. And at the end of the book, he talks with his daughter, who they wrote this book together that came out earlier this year, and how he did not want his children to grow up in the sorrow of what he went through and to live a happy life. And at one point, the daughter wanted to go to Auschwitz, and he didn't want her to, but later on, he said that he would be fine with it because he was trying to just move past it and to try to live a happy normal life, and that's what he wanted for his children. But when he came to terms with what he went through in the process of writing this book, he thought it would be good for her to go. It was just a very amazing story to see someone so young survive and to see all the aspects that went into it. And also, he talked about when he went back to school after the war, that he still was disliked and hated as being Jewish, and disliked, and he saw that happen to his children as well, but they survived it. And it's just really sad to know that even in the 20th century, and then early after the war ended, there were still lots of people who did not like the Jewish people, and they wanted to try to hurt and scare them off. When his family went back to their hometown after the war, after they were in the displaced persons camp, there were some people that knocked on their door. And they were said, "We hear Jews were living here and we're trying to scare you away." And they were able to pretend like they were not Jews, like they were Catholics, because one of the grandchildren of their family survived by being in a Catholic school during the war, and so she knew the Catholic prayers, and they're like, "Well, my daughter's just about to say her prayers, do you want to come hear it?" And she was able to say her prayers, and it changed the people's view, and they said they're sorry that they'll leave their family alone. It is amazing how just pretending to have another religion, or to say that you're Christian or this, or you're this or that, was able to save them, because just hearing those words meant a whole lot to those people back then. And just to say that you were Jewish or you're not Jewish or you're German meant a whole lot, because they were being brought up in a time where they thought there's only one true human, and that was the German race, and if you weren't, you deserved to be extinct. And that's just a horrible thing, but we need to realize that happened once and it can happen again, and we have to try to help people understand different types of races and religion, and to not judge them, but just to accept them as they are, and to know them instead of being afraid by something is different. So I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time, everyone. Goodbye.